How are you, my friend?
Good, mate. Well,
So third try.
Yeah, I know. So for everyone out there, here's what actually happened. This is the truth of the Michael Luck podcast, the MFL podcast. Recorded it, 2.5 hours. SSD card corrupted. Tried to retrieve it.
Yep.
Hid it from Michael. Michael kept asking, "Hey, what's going on with that podcast?" And I said to him, "Well, I'm working on it."
There's some decent stuff in it
That
too.
was very decent stuff. But anyway, so the whole thing got corrupted. We had to do it again. We did it again. Anyway, this is now the third time. This one may be released. It may not be released.
Yep.
But we both said, if it goes beyond this third time, we're both out.
Yep, that's it.
It's not meant to happen.
Yeah, the universe doesn't.
MFL and
It's out
homage
there.
and should never be having this conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so whatever comes out of it must be good.
That's
Michael, let's start because you've had massive 12 months.
Yeah.
Massive 12 months in relation to change, right?
I have.
And you've gone through every bit of a different emotion of that change. But where are you up to now? What does it look like now? What's the business look like now?
Business is amazing. So last 12 months started fresh. So new came into the company, partnered with you guys to expand. Business has like tripled in 12 months in terms of what we've done. So, growing a couple of offices and teams and expanding out. And my personal growth in the business has been huge. So, it's been amazing. Like I said, a lot of ups and downs and changes and whatever. But yeah, it's been incredible.
Move that first. There.
Sorry. Okay.
But in relation to that, it wasn't just you coming in as an agent. You came in obviously as a full business owner.
Yeah.
People need to know that out there because everything is split. Like you run your own business, I run my own business. We all kind of run our own businesses, but technically, but really it feels like one because everyone's trying to help each other. But for you, your business tripled. And inside that period, you also became more of a leader. You've had more people join your team. You've turned it into an actual business. You're working on the business. You're working in the business. You're opening up more offices. You're scaling things. What's that been like? Because how have you managed to triple your business's baseline while you're switching so many hats?
Well, I think the biggest thing was there are a lot of factors, I think, that come into that. But I think when I came across what I was doing before as an agent, the business that backed me and the systems and the processes and things I had available to me allowed me to get to a certain level.
You were 20 years in one place. And that obviously was a decent place. 20 years,
20 years and I was doing really well and everything was good and, I thought I was killing it and, it was comfortable and it was easy and it was sort of, but you don't know what you don't know, I think sometimes. And I didn't realize how much stuff I was doing that didn't contribute to me growing my business. And I didn't realize how much stuff was missing in what I was doing every day to make sure that everyone I came into contact with had a flawless experience.
Let's start there though then.
Yeah.
So what are the stuff that you realized that you were doing that was different to what you were doing here or when you changed it? What are the differences for you to have that growth?
Well, as an agent, and you've done it before too, I think you have those circumstances where, you run a perfect campaign. So, you list the property, the clients are super happy, they get all the right points of contact at the right time, everyone's on board, they listen to your guidance, the marketing looks perfect, you run a flawless campaign, you get a great result, the buyers are happy, the after-sales follow-up service is excellent, and you do that. And every agent's experienced one of those. Yep. But the problem is you can only provide those when you haven't got a heap of stuff on your plate. To be able to do all those little touch points, all those steps correctly, and make sure everything runs perfect every single time, it's kind of impossible in most businesses because you're wearing so many hats as an agent, and you've got to do this and do that, and you've got marketing and buyer work and things like that. Whereas coming across here, the framework of the business and what it allowed me to achieve was give every single client I dealt with at every touch point a perfect experience,
whether they were ready to do something or not.
Exactly.
So you're multiplying your business.
You're multiplying your business. It's like every transaction I had was all of a sudden the perfect transaction in every way, shape, and form. Whether they were a buyer, whether they were a seller, whether they were a neighbor just poking through an open house to see what the neighbor's house looked like. Everyone receives a high level of service and a high level of an experience. through being here. And I think that was a lot of what attracted me to the company.
Yeah.
So that's been one huge factor. I think I didn't have the ups and downs. And I think a lot of agents go through the ups and downs. You know, like you work your ass off, you get all of a sudden you get 10 listings and you're super busy. And then all you're doing is trying to sell the 10 listings. And then, you know, you stop prospecting for new business and you're doing things like, you know, pre-settlement inspections and bank valuations and you're running around and, you know, I've always had associates working for me, but, you know, people want you and the clients ring you and the buyers ring you and the solicitors ring you and all these things happen and you get sidetracked. So you work, you get these 10 listings and then you sell the 10 and then all of a sudden you crash and you've got nothing.
Yep.
So you're riding this constant wave of up and down as an agent. And that limits how far you can go, I think, financially in this business because, you know, and also...
And your mood too.
It
affects your mood.
And your life too. Yeah. It starts to consume your life.
Yeah.
So, you know, when we obviously became friends and started to meet and, you know, you showed me what you were doing inside the business and, you know, what the systems were and, you know, and what belief can do and all those sorts of things, it was kind of a no-brainer for me to understand how I would get to the next level in my career.
Yeah, I find when I have conversations with the agents that are doing the highest volume or the top agents, right? When I have conversations with them, they understand it straight away. Yeah. I think they can see it straight away. They're like, okay, well, that's a no-brainer. I can see what that's doing. I can see how the gaps that it's covering. I can see how it helps serve people more. So you find it at that level, and that's why the top agents who come on board, they move much quicker. Yeah. And even the agents who are just starting out, they move into that top agent category pretty quickly.
Definitely. And it's, you know, I didn't believe it. Like when we first sat down and started talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, okay, right. You know, and everyone...
Why doesn't anyone... But I must be a really poor salesman.
Worst salesman I've ever met. You just...
Do you know what everyone said to me? He said I got a PR problem online.
Very true. No more kettlebells, Omar. Yeah, no more kettlebells, all right?
All right. So, but yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like you didn't believe what we were saying, but why? What made it unbelievable?
Well, because it wasn't available anywhere else in the industry, and I think... that was a big part of the jump for me, I think, too, you know. And it's so good for me to be able to give my team and the agents who work in my businesses and, you know, those people those tools as well to be able to grow quickly.
How important has that been for you as a leader? Like you're bringing people in. How have you got your agents to go from where they are to where they were to where they are so quickly? I mean, you were able to amplify your business, but you were already at a top level. Some of the agents that you had brought in, they were barely doing any type of individual deals on their own.
Yeah.
And then suddenly now they're getting great reviews, their numbers are growing. How has that happened with them? It's easy to see with you.
Well, I think another factor, obviously the systems and everything we've discussed, but I think culturally too, the business is a really good place to be. And like, you know, a lot of businesses will talk about their culture and, you know, what they do and, you know, culture. But the truth is...
Go on, use the word. You don't want to use it, but you need to use it.
What word?
Belief. You refuse to use it. No. You absolutely refuse it. That's why I call the platform belief.
Yeah.
You got to use it.
You're stuck with it, yeah. But, you know, no one... having I guess a community within the business of you know, high achievers and encouragement, and you know, the baseline in the business is really high, and it's not a competitive place. It's competitive in a good way, in a fun way. Like you know, all the top agents, we love to know what each other are doing and try and push each other to the next level in a positive way. But we're also really encouraging of each other, and that's the biggest thing. I think it's generally across the board, you know, there's never any arguments over anything in the business. We've got this whole giving mentality in the business where everyone's more happy to give everything away rather than taking. Yeah. And that's just a good place to be, you know.
Yeah, it's because the word competition, like if you're trying to beat somebody and you're always looking away, you're always looking around that person, but the service is with this person, then you're actually going backwards. And like, the whole thing about competition, it drives you to win, but it doesn't drive you towards peace. So you're always in your head, feel like you're being chased by something. Yeah. I heard somebody say you should wake up every day as if it's back to zero. You should wake up every day as if it's 100. You've got everything. You've got your family, you've got health, you've got whatever. Your starting point every day is never zero. I think the word competition makes it sound like you're starting with nothing.
I think the word competition in a lot of other environments has a really negative connotation to it. Yes. And it's, you know, depending on the way you decide to look at it, but it's it's super healthy if it's in good spirits and it's an encouraging nature and it's, your core beliefs as a company.
But it also determines what are you competing for. That's the thing too.
Yeah.
Are you competing for listings or are you competing for, you selling 20 listings and then giving people a bad experience, suddenly you might feel good on paper, but you're not feeling good in your heart and soul. So we're like sitting there going, right, okay, well, yeah, Michael Luck's done 50 million for the month. But Michael Luck's also been in contact with one of the junior agents to give him about 1% to help him out. And when that happens, I feel like you're in a better spot and you get the outcome. I think the company does that a lot, right?
Yeah, like even we were discussing this the other day. It's so nice to be in a place where, junior agents from other offices can ring me for advice and my agents can ring you for advice or ring, Ibi for advice or, Imam or any of the other senior agents or whatever the case may be. It's so valuable to have that because sometimes being stuck in your own ecosystem, it's hard, whereas having some outside input's a really important thing, and there's some amazing agents coming up in this business. Yeah. Like it's crazy the level of talent, and we've had some new guys starting soon, which is like we're really excited about too. And the business is just attracting a good quality of agent.
You know what I love the most, Michael? When a junior agent does a deal, when I say junior agent, someone who's just started, and someone like yourself on the group chat is going out of his way to go, yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because the power of that is huge. Because you've got, like, if you love what somebody else has, you'll get it yourself. And, like, we do that a lot. And I see that a lot. I see, Ibrahim, you, Imam, agents who are doing so well, they're also encouraging and loving the win of the other person. I mean, it works because you've got this one energy. And I see it happen all the time. I think that was a big difference too. Tell me about, like, the leadership side, because I feel like that's watching you from the outside and grow your business has been fun. Not only is it serving a lot of people well, but what's the biggest thing about leadership? Because I've seen you like change completely. I don't know if you've noticed it.
Yeah, well, I don't think I had any idea what I was really doing when I came in. Like the most leadership I've had to be was me and associates working with me, and that's not leadership. That's just, getting people to do what you want them to do. Yeah. Leadership, I think, and, a lot of it I've learned and seen through what you've done and how the way you've grown a business. But, even looking at, the way like Ibrahim runs his business, it's exceptional. Like he's got 3 offices shortly, and
yeah, he's gone 3 offices, 40 something people, and it's
47 salespeople or something ridiculous like that. And, and the time and care and way he puts energy into his people is why he's there, why they're doing, $10 million a month or whatever.
But you're doing the same.
$1 million a month, in commission, yeah.
Because you're also now growing this business quickly.
Yeah.
It's going to be even quicker soon. But like, what's been the number one, or what's been the main thing you've learned about the difference between managing people and leading people? Because you've managed people in the past, right? But what's the leadership difference? What is it? What, in a basic term for somebody out there, like what's it best described at? What do you do?
Well, I think the key, I found the key thing with leadership is giving to the people that you're trying to lead.
Yeah.
You should always lead by example in the way that you do things. Obviously, the standards you hold your staff, you should hold yourself to the same standards. Yeah. But I think it's how much you're willing to give and how much energy you're willing to put into the people. You only.
But let me ask you this question, just to dig a bit deeper with this. Let me ask you this question. Let's say you're managing people in the past. Mm-hmm. They haven't turned into top agents.
Yeah.
You're a top agent. Mm-hmm. You're leading by example.
Yep.
They're still not a top agent.
Yeah.
So what is the difference then? Because you've led by example and it hasn't happened.
Well, I think understanding everyone's different, but
by the way, you've actually done it now. So you've gone from leading by example and not getting a result with the people that you're managing. When I say result, I mean them turning into. But then you've also, with the same people, turned them into great agents.
Yeah.
What has been the difference between the Michael who only leads by example and the Michael who actually turns these agents into really good agents?
I think, one, it's hard to understand. As an agent, I don't think you consciously understand why you do what you do and how you do it and why it ends up in success for you. Yep. It's really hard to take a look at yourself and understand that. And I don't think I ever did understand it. Like I probably still don't, to an extent of, why I achieve what I achieve and why someone else who's put the same amount of years into a business doesn't, But coming into the business, there's a clear structure around being able to help the more inexperienced guys develop to a level where they can be competitive with much more seasoned agents, not based on reputation or not based on look how many houses I've sold or look at how much GCI I'm writing. You know, you can put a younger guy who understands our processes and our systems and our way in which we deliver the maximum outcome for clients. It's a really regimented, clear path to getting a great result for your clients. And when they understand that, and they can implement that into their own, you know, growth as an agent, it makes them very hard to deal with. And I think that's why we've seen such young guys in our business do so well, and why there's so many guys who, you know, let's take Hanny, it's a perfect example. Hanny was a mechanic 2 years ago, and Hanny's writing close to $2 million now in fees, and Hanny's the king of running an elite process to get a maximum outcome for a client. You know, so in very few circumstances will that happen by itself. You know, otherwise it takes 20 years like me, or 15 years like you, or you know, 15 years or 20 years like Ibby, same sort of thing to get to that level. And it's because
it's about giving the decision making and structure of what a Michael Luck would do to somebody who doesn't have your experience, and to be able to do that in a digital way and put it in somebody's hand, that really takes, if somebody's got a good personality, is likable and has empathy, the structure and the experience now is in their back pocket. So now it changes the game. But what has it been about your mentality? Has something shifted with you in how you see, how like whether it's a circumstance or whether it's the way you're leading people? Is there a difference in how you saw it before compared to how you see it now on a day-to-day when you're dealing with people?
I think I can see from my past experiences, I know and understand now what not to do, which is a big thing.
Which is what?
Which is, you know, micromanage people aggressively, you know, count numbers, you know, but where are you? Where are your results? Things like that. You know, accountability is great and it's essential in all businesses, I think, in growth. But there's a way in which to do it. You've got your encouraging way, and then you've got the way which most businesses do it, which is, you know, they don't give people guidance. It's more just pick up the phone and ring someone, or go and knock on a door. But what message are those people going to deliver? And those messages in which they're delivering to prospective sellers or clients, that completely determines the outcome. It's not the fact that
changes the energy.
It changed the energy. It's not the fact that they turned up and did the call, or they turned up and knocked on the door. It's what are they going to say when they do that? What intent are they going there 100%. With? How are they going to deliver?
And you're assuming that they have the same energy and the same message that you're transferring. So you're telling them to do the action without giving them, well, what is the message?
What is the message, and how are you communicating, you know, the benefit to the potential consumer? And that's the thing. And I don't think most people understand that. And some people have it naturally, some people develop it naturally, but there's a lot of people who can't. And I think that's why we have a lot of people who feel like they're slamming their head against a brick wall in our industry, because you know what they're doing? I'm making 200 calls a day and I'm booking this many appraisals.
Do you think that comes from a bit of scarcity of leadership? Like, for example, the other day I was having a conversation with Ibby. You won't mind me saying this, 'cause we're always talking, right? The only reason why I've got a different perspective is because I'm out of our group, like the leadership group, is because I'm not listing and selling, which means I can see when you're listing and selling, you're in the heart, mind, body, and soul of the owner, whereas you're focused, right? So Ibby said, you know, I had to give somebody a reality check. And I said, well, I said to him, Ibby.
We've all had those things.
Fair enough. And I said to him, Ibby, it's probably best to give them, instead of giving someone a reality check, you should give someone a vision reminder. Because somebody who's in a position that's not doing something, it's got really nothing to do with they need a reality check. They know they're not doing it. So what is the vision reminder to get them there? How simple can we make that? And I think that's a massive thing. And I think you've done that with your team a lot. I think you're constantly giving them vision reminders your way. You got your own way of doing it. But I think that's what you've done. So would you say that's been something simple that you've been able to do within your organization? Like, you've got somebody starting soon. What have you been telling him? Have you been telling him what he's doing wrong? Are you telling him what he's going to do right? Or have you been telling him what he's already done in the future? Like,
I think we can all clearly see that, you know, we don't just want anyone in the business, and the quality of the people we either have approach us for the business or to come into the business, or we invite to be in the business has been really, really good. And, you know, we can clearly see the vision for what these people can achieve and where they're going to go. And it's just allowing them to see it too.
When you say you can clearly see their vision, when you bring these people on, or anybody on, or you're connecting with anybody, you yourself almost go into the future and see what they've achieved. You're believing it first, right?
For sure. And well, let's use a real time example. Let's use the $50 million a month example. You know, I just come out of a very messy legal dispute for when I left my old business. And it was, I had these people who relied on me and staff, and, I came on board the second all those matters were put to bed. I came out, and what I listed was like 27 properties in like 6 weeks or something crazy. I just came out of the gates, and I was on the phone and calling everyone I knew, and all of a sudden I had 27 listings. And you know what? Because I was so bull rushed out of the gate to get them, maybe I didn't price them correctly, maybe I didn't do things the right way, I didn't use the right processes, and 8 weeks in, I was in free fall almost. I was like, oh, these deals aren't coming together. I had people contacting me from everywhere, and we sat down, and you said, all right, cool. Well, let's just do a reset. You've lost the vision of where we're going to go. Yep. Let's write out all these listings, a clear list of all they're going to go, and we're going to write what they're going to sell for next to them and that they're done. And that's it. Yep. A clear vision. And we did this together. And then we went through that list every day for a week.
And the number accumulated to 50 million.
It was 50 million, yeah.
And so there was one simple line text message.
Yep.
50 million done.
50 million done. That was it. So, and it was 50 million in sales. And literally the next month, we got them all done. Yep. We sold them all. And they were all done, and they happened. And that was the vision. And was I doing anything differently? Probably. Yep. But it was all my headspace and being able to see the vision. And, it was a huge shift for me and a huge change. And there was all these moving parts. But
nothing actually really changed.
Nothing actually really changed except for the vision of being able to see where we're going to end up at the end of this.
Yeah, it wasn't extra resources.
No.
You had everything there. And the difference between seeing a vision, it's
Sorry, can
right. Yeah. So it's really your ability to get it there. But I mean, and that's been important with your team too. It's about doing that. So it's simplifying it. It was interesting the other day, I was having a conversation with a few people in the company, and it was about leadership. And people out there can do that. And I said, look, what comes out of your mouth and what you actually write. So let's say you won the lotto. Mm-hmm. If you won the lotto and you're walking in and there's somebody there not doing so well, you wouldn't approach that person by saying, what's going on, what's happening? You'd be in such a high frequency. And what do you reckon? How would you reckon you'd respond? Your frequency would be so high, right?
Yeah.
You'd be walking in going, wow.
It's contagious energy.
Contagious.
Yeah.
So you're transferring your belief onto that person.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I said to the person, what comes out of your mouth and what's in your text message? And people who are listening to this can try this right now. What's coming out of your mouth and what you write down is exactly what you are and what you're feeling, no matter how you put it and what context you put it in. Like, for example, if you use the word hope, if you say to a buyer, hey, I hope you get the property for you and your family, that's actually a negative connotation because the buyer starts thinking I'm going to miss the property, right?
Yeah.
So if you go to your phone right now and you type in the word hope, lose, win, or whatever, you'll actually find how many times you're using those words.
Yeah.
And it was funny. So this one leader sent a message to somebody within the business of everything he wanted the person to do.
Yeah.
And inside the message, it said, I hope you got something good out of this, and it was strategic, and something about losing and you'll start to win. And then I said to him, let's look at that message. Mm-hmm. If somebody's thinking negatively and they read the message, you literally wrote to that person, I hope you lose. Because the 3 words in that message...
That stood out where had negative connotation.
You literally wrote to the person, no matter how you think you structured it, the message, what came out of your headspace into that message is you wrote to someone that you want to lead to victory, I hope you lose. You actually wrote that in the message, right? And without even realizing it. So it becomes like subconscious to the person. So, and I feel like when you're talking to your team, you're transferring this belief, which is great. But then when somebody else is trying to lead somebody else, just be mindful of that what you're writing and what you're saying is the opposite of what you're thinking you're doing.
And I think as a leader, what you have to say carries so much more impact on people as well. People look to you for guidance and they look to you for support and all those sorts of things. And as you said, if the way in which you're trying to communicate and what you're actually trying to say and what you are saying can be two different things.
Completely different.
And it's understanding that too. And I think you're a master of understanding that. I think for me, I'd never even really thought about the way I said things in the manner in which
but you're literally walking in. Because you're at the level where you're doing 50 million a month, you're walking in as if you've won the lotto. So your energy is naturally already using positively framed words. Yeah. Unless we get you on one of those days. Yeah? When I got to even run away. I don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
But and then I said to the person, all right, and people who are listening can do this. I said, test yourself. Go 24/7,
Yep.
24 hours, just 24 hours, not 24/7, 24 hours and be deliberate about the words you're using. And every time you use a negatively framed word, stop and be mindful of that. If you were to write a book in 24 hours of everything you said and pull out all the negatively framed words and put them into a sentence, you literally cast a spell on yourself and everyone around you.
Yeah.
And so 5 hours later, I texted him and I said, how's it going? He said, this is hard. I said, well, there's hard. That's another negatively framed word, right? And he goes,
stop being negative. Yeah.
That's another negatively framed word, right? So it's an interesting thing for people to try, and I think that's what you've done really well, right? So what's next for you? Like, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Are you going to continue being an agent? What are you going to do?
Yeah, like, well, I still enjoy what I'm doing and I still love doing it. So, we've got some big plans for the next couple of years, but, the business is growing naturally, and there's more expansion coming, it's exciting. It's so easy for us to be excited about the business because it's a genuinely good and exciting place to be. There are some, great things on the horizon for what we're doing, and we're excited to get the right people into the business to help us do that. But yeah, it's just an easy thing to want to expand because there's so much we can offer to anyone who wants to come into the business. That it's like it's like recruitment is a funny thing. Like it's a lot of business I think find it hard, but I feel like it's kind of easy now because there's such a difference in how we can improve everyone else's lives. Whether it's the agents who work with us or whether it's our client, even the clients that we deal with. How much of a higher level of service we can deliver to them.
And nothing's perfect, and that's the thing. Like sometimes people go outside the system, or sometimes people's headspace isn't where it needs to be. But ultimately, more often than not, strike rate's high, meaning that anyone who comes on board. Let me ask you a question that some people have sent to me.
Yep.
And I want to start with Bradley.
Oh, Bradley.
All right. Bradley.
Hello, Bradley.
Okay. You might not say hello after you hear this. All right. You ready for this?
I'm ready for it. Let's
I don't
go.
know if this is a question. I don't know what it is.
It's probably not, but we'll try and decipher it. We'll decipher it.
Is? All right. There's a big drum roll on this.
If everyone who's watching who doesn't know who Bradley is, explain who Bradley is.
Let me tell you who Bradley is. Bradley's the type of guy that I will tell you who Bradley is by a conversation he had with me that lasted 30 seconds. And this is how this is what we spoke about. How to talk to a horse telepathically.
Okay, continue.
He's the greatest.
Yeah.
How to talk to a horse telepathically. How to create a kid's book. He told me that he said the whole world's going to change in 10 years. And I said, why do you think that? He said, because kids are our future. And he said, I'm going to change the thought process of every child in the world. So 10 years, he said, I'm going to achieve world peace. That's my vision within 15 years. I said, how are you going to do that, Bradley? He said, well, 15 years, children become adults, they run the world. I said, yeah. And he said, I'm doing a kid's book now that impacts the subconscious of the kids today.
It's not a bad plan.
So when they turn up in 15 years, I would have created world peace. And I was like, so that's Bradley, right?
Yeah.
Talking to horses.
The coach whisperer.
Yeah, talking to horses, world peace, coach whisperer, spoke to all the coach, he's mentored some of the best coaches in the country. That's Bradley. This is a question that Bradley asked me to ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not like this.
Go.
Okay. Why, when you have a big month, the next month is not so great?
Ooh, good question. I think sometimes you celebrate too much and you don't reset and you don't refocus.
I think he's literally asking you this.
He's specifically asking me this. This is not a general question. Yeah,
he's coming after you.
Yeah. So because the bank account was too healthy after that month.
Should ask Daniel. At least you go off for a month. Daniel disappears for 6.
But I think sometimes you need to reset and forget. Like, I think you need to forget what you've just done and just go back in. I think that it's hard to do. It's hard to...
We try to put triggers in there, like celebrate halfway, go again.
Yeah.
So quick celebration halfway, go again. But, he's asking the question, so I guess you can answer it. So you're saying you celebrate too much?
I think that could be it, yeah. I think that could be it. But as I said, the consistency is building in the business. It is. Like, we've had some huge months and had some mediocre months, as we all do.
What's a mediocre month
for
MFL?
Like 25 million in sales or something like that, probably.
Well, at least you know it's mediocre.
Yeah,
but you know what? I said this to Imam too. If you've got the ability to help that many people, it's the people that aren't going with you or don't have the service from you that are suffering because there's so many people that need it.
Yeah.
He literally wrote, next question. Okay. You have been in real estate for over 20 years. So you would have 900 agents working in your team, right?
No.
Why?
Because I was centrally focused for 20 of those 21 years. So it was all about me and not a team and not growing a business. It was about me and what I was doing.
Okay.
That's why.
But there's 900 there for you, right?
900.
All right.
Okay, we should have 900 by now.
All right. Next question.
Next question.
I need his accent, how he does it.
Yeah.
How did you build a team with over 900 agents in it?
Oh, so this is the future. We're
Well,
talking.
I'm just reading what's on the paper. Like
we did. How did we do it? Well,
how did you build a team? He's telling us that our one's worldwide. How did you?
First I got Bradley to coach them.
Okay.
Number one,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So how did you build a team with over 900 agents in it, Michael?
Well, we made sure that we had the right systems and processes to be able to support that many agents.
Yeah.
We had a culture that would enrich what they were going to do and how they were going to perform their daily tasks as to what they were going to do.
Yeah.
And and then we invited the right people into the business to help us grow this vision to be, the best real estate company in the world.
For anybody out there, that question got Michael thinking. Michael just traveled to the future with that question.
Yeah.
He literally traveled to the future. So there was a parallel universe right now that existed in Michael's mind.
Where there's 900 agents. Yep.
And that's a good question. Next question. So with over 900 agents in your team, that means you have over 50 or 60 offices. Is that all correct, Michael?
It is correct, Bradley.
This is for Michael. I'm going to hit him right between the eyes to wake him up.
Well, it's nice that Bradley can see that in the future. Let's do it. 50 officers, it's done.
But you see, that's actually leadership.
Well, that's vision.
That's vision. But what is leadership? How can you lead
It's
if you're not in
providing.
front
It's
of someone?
providing vision.
It's vision, right?
Yeah.
So that's Michael's questions. And I think these are great questions. I'm going to give these questions to you, Michael.
All right.
Leave them
Save
with you
those.
because, mate, there's got to be a reason why I was in receipt of those questions to then pass on to you. I mean, none of this happens by accident.
Yep.
I'll leave that with you.
Okay. Well, if Bradley was asking the questions, there'd be a bit of spit on my face and on the microphone.
And he'd be really aggressive.
He'd be very aggressive.
very, very aggressive. Right. Let's go through a few more questions here. Right. Saw your post interview with Michael. Can you ask him in the interview? You know what, Michael? I'll just interject here. Sometimes I read these questions and they're hard for me to read because the problem is inside their question.
Yeah.
They're negatively framed.
Okay.
You will know how to ask him, all right?
Yeah.
But this is the first one. This one's okay. What is the number one skill a new agent should master as a priority? Belief?
Definitely. Yeah, I think, belief in what they're doing, definitely, for sure. That's the number one skill.
Yeah.
For sure. If you can't see where you're going and you don't have a belief in what you're doing every day, it's never going to happen for you.
Do you think it's challenging for people?
You answered that question, by the way, not me.
But you agreed with it?
Yeah.
Unless you don't agree with it.
No, I do. I do.
But those people who are in an environment, do you think that could impact someone's belief?
Yeah.
Environment.
Yeah, for sure. I think, as I said before, people don't know what they don't know. And, if you're in an office where, the ceiling or the highest possible level you can go to is here, how are you ever going to have the vision to see that you could potentially go to here?
It's possible, but much more challenging.
It's very, very difficult, whereas I think, being around other people who have almost no limit on their vision, which you are a perfect example, and Bradley and people like that around, even Imam and Ibi and these guys who are just hungry for what is to come and what's possible.
They've gone, including you, gone past the path of thinking about it's not money. None of us think about that.
It doesn't matter at a certain point.
It's contribution. It's doing something with your life.
Yeah.
So you would say belief. Okay. Well, because I answered the first one as number one, how about I elaborate on that? What's the second skill a real estate agent is going to need that's new as a priority? What should they master? Maybe practically. I don't know.
A practical skill. I think discipline's really important. I think discipline in whatever you do, make sure you do it properly, and you do it always do what you say you're going to do. And if anything, deliver, over deliver. Yeah. I think that's something that, a lot of people struggle with. And
that's critical.
Yeah.
Wow. It's so easy to say, yeah.
Yeah.
So easy to say, but when it comes down to it and you've said that thing,
make sure you do it and you do it better or quicker than you've promised to do it.
Yeah.
And if you do that in every interaction, whether it's calling someone back or whether it's getting someone some information or it's organizing something or it's, whatever it is, if you do that as quickly and as efficiently to the level at which you promised, if not at a higher level, people will be impressed and they want to deal with you.
Especially when it's not obvious that you have something to gain. Like sometimes you might be, you see agents on the phone to a buyer and they say to the buyer, this random buyer, yeah, if I get anything, I'll let you know. And they get off the phone and there's actually no intention to actually do any of that.
Yeah.
But if you got off the phone from that buyer and the second you got off the phone, you sent a text message and you said, guys, here's an actual report of what a property report looks like. If you see a property that you like with anybody else, shoot through the message, and then what I'll do is I'll respond with that report. If you were just to do that to every single person that you spoke to, you'll be considerably ahead. And I don't know if that's a skill, or I don't know if it's just your character.
No, I think it's a skill. I think anyone can learn to be efficient. Speed is your friend. I think in our business too, how quickly and efficiently you can do something is a really good reflection on you and what you're capable of. Yep. So I feel that's really important. Yep. If someone takes a while and they're slow to respond and they don't do what they say they're going to do, it's a reflection of your character, I think, initially. I think it makes you somewhat untrustworthy to an extent. So, if anything, that's probably it.
I think that's a massive one. I think that one is unbelievably important. I actually think belief and seeing a vision of the future is one to grow, but I think that particular one could change your life tomorrow, because I think people underestimate that if you tell somebody you're going to do something and it's semi-important to them, but you don't think it's that important, they remember it, you don't. If they remember it, they don't actually tell you about it, but it holds in their subconscious, which means that you start to create energy that's not good around you.
And I think
that's a massive one. That's
for sure. And especially in our business, it's such, buying and selling homes is such an emotional important process in people's lives. And because we do it as agents every day, sometimes you can lose the perspective on how much it's impacting people's lives.
Yeah.
So in terms of, how efficient and how helpful and how consistent and how streamlined you can be in what you're doing every day with every interaction is super important, I think.
How helpful and how useful. I mean, that's
it.
How helpful and how useful. So to anyone out there, what we would say, and I'm sure Michael will agree with this, not speak on his behalf, is if somebody calls you tomorrow, go out of your way to promise something small and then deliver it and see what happens. And the reaction from that and the thank yous that you get, and then the energy starts to build. So if you want to start to course correct or change where you're at, you could be in any spot right now. Something that's really simple that you can do is play the game of thank yous. How many thank yous can you get from this moment?
Yeah.
What could you do? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
So I would say that's great. So that's belief. And the second thing is keep your word is huge.
Yep.
It's a practical skill.
Yep.
People were expecting get better at listing presentations. So
that doesn't matter. Like that'll happen. So
I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is the stuff this is the stuff that I don't want to say. This is the stuff that when you write it out, it's a spell. So I'm just gonna have to
paraphrase it.
Done. He's basically saying when something doesn't happen, I'm going to just say it. When your business plateaus, what changes need to be done to shake things up to push growth? I think the issue here is actually in the question, but what's your answer to that?
I think clarify the
just
vision.
Never plateaus.
Yeah, we'll clarify the vision of where you want to go. Yep. And everything can be worked backwards from there. If you have a clear destination and you can see that destination and where you're going, it's really simple to work steps backwards from where you want it to be, And if that goal for you and that vision is, I want to do a certain number of sales each year. Okay, great. Let's see and understand that vision, how it's going to happen, where it's going to be. And then let's calculate some steps backwards to the point of this moment right now. What is the next step to get to that place?
So would you say we're back to kind of what we said at the start, that it's not about a reality check. It's about a vision reminder. If your business has plateaued, it's because you've forgotten your vision.
Well, you can't see where you're going.
You can't see where you're going.
You're in the dark.
You've got no vision. Yeah. Your vision. So you could simply do it. So Michael, you said, 27 properties, things weren't going as well as you thought. And the only thing that really changed it is adjustment in your vision. Nothing changed. No extra training, no skills.
Well, I was overwhelmed and I couldn't see the outcomes.
Yep.
And then when
very simple.
And then when we could see the outcomes clearly, they all came.
Yep. And it was one sentence, 50 million done. And then all of a sudden you could see that, okay, this is what I'm going to put together. And so that's the answer to that one, I would say, for sure. It's vision. Whoever's writing this just needs to adjust their vision.
Yep.
Okay, here's another one. What drives you to be a top agent? Well, according to Bradley, I don't think you are a top agent according to Bradley. You'd need 900 offices.
I'm not fulfilling my potential, so...
You're on holidays, big boy. So what drives you to be a top agent?
I don't look at it being like a top agent. I don't think it's like that. I think it's just you just do the best you can every day. Like I think it's...
Oh, Michael, I think you're driven to be a good human, man. I remember when I used to see you from the outside. I don't care what you thought of me. It's probably not good.
You thought I was a wanker and I thought you're a weirdo. Let's just say it.
Yeah.
I thought you were a weirdo.
Wanker's worse than weirdo. but and that's the thing. I actually see you do, for anyone out there, Michael's talking about like giving and all of that. He's the type of bloke that does that. There's a thing that was on, I saw it on a podcast where a person, I explained this the other day, that was holding beads, and he said, if you push the beads close to you and you try to bring it in, you can hold it there. It takes effort. The second you let go, bang, it moves away from you. But if you push things away, they naturally come back to you. And I feel you do that a lot. I think you got a very giving heart, and I think you said what drives you to be a top agent. It sounds like you're driven to be a good human. That's what I can see.
Yeah, like I think it's just genuinely like all the people in the business and everyone that we work with and all our clients and everyone when we come into contact with, I genuinely want the best outcome for everyone. And it's so much better when everyone's doing well and everyone's happy and everyone's being fulfilled in what they're doing, you know? And everyone goes through ups and downs. It's just life, you know, that's part of it. But being able to be in a place where, you know, people will bring you back up when that's an issue. I think having an abundance mentality is a really good way. And like we've discussed this a lot, you know, just if you do good things happen. I think that's simply it, you know? 100%. And no, I'm not a saint in any way, shape or form, but I genuinely do try and really enrich the lives of the people that are around me, and whatever they need, I'll give and help them.
Just be something positive.
Yeah, that's life. It. But you know, everyone in the business is the same. We've found it genuinely the same. You know.
Yeah, you want to be in a position where somebody hears you or somebody meets you, and then the second you leave, what are they really whispering? That person's a good person. Your kids could be around. Hey, your dad's a good dad. Hey, your dad's a really nice guy. Hey, your dad helped me out. I feel like if people are saying that about you, I feel like energy follows you. So I think that's really important. In relation to the what drives you to be a top agent part, to stay in that space for a second.
Yep.
It's like you still are. Do you feel I think we've already explained, but do you feel the differences between what it takes to be at the top of what you do and where people are currently at, they want to get to that level. Mm-hmm. Do you feel the reasons are underestimated or overestimated?
I think they're overestimated.
That's what I think too.
I think there's so many small things that you could do every day which will have a huge effect on where you end up in terms of your career and the interactions that you have with people. And it's hard to see those things sometimes when you're in the middle of it, and having, you know, clear guidance around that, or even having those things done for you by other people to impact your clients is massive.
100%.
So those little things often, as we call them, the 1%ers, they all add up. And the 1%ers push you over into winning percentages a lot of the time.
Do you remember that time? And people can do this. Like that, there was a time, obviously, when Michael was coming on board. And by the way, like it's not about getting into businesses or whatever. Everyone has the right to do what they believe to be right. So there's no issue. Whatever happened. But in relation to your situation, it was a moment where it was very challenging. It was huge. Because it's new.
It was new, and what the potential outcomes could have been for me were life changing, not in a good way, you know. So
yeah, but that's what makes a challenging moment challenging.
Yeah.
The thought of a potential outcome that you don't like.
That I didn't like or couldn't control.
Do you remember?
I didn't think I could control.
We were in this room together
Yep.
and you were going through the documents, and then we picked up the camera.
Yep.
And we may share it, and we said, "Hey, it's 2025. Do you remember this moment? We're sitting in this room, wondering what was going to happen. Unbelievable what's happened now. It all happened exactly as it should, whatever it may be."
Yep.
And little things like that, I think, can be beneficial in someone's life. I think sometimes, for me, I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes if something doesn't go right for me, I try and stay in that space just for a little moment.
Yep.
Like I sit there and I go, okay, other people in this position feel this way. How can I remember how I feel now to help somebody else get out of this position the next time it happens?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that, because you get out of situations pretty quickly. We spoke about the 90-second rule the other day, but you get out of situations pretty quickly relative to other people. I mean, it's not going to lag on. Is that something you do? Do you sit in that space and go, okay, well, I know what's coming next? Would that be the reason why you were able to move through that moment?
I think understanding your situation for what it is in the scale of what your life is really important. The perspective of that is important. You know, something might seem like a huge issue right now, but in the scheme of everything, it's nothing. And it only becomes as big as you allow it to be. So, you know, if you want to dwell on something and you want to, you know, constantly overthink it and, you know, sit on that fact and ruminate in that idea, well, then it's going to become a huge thing. You know, it's going to become a massive, massive thing. Whereas if you look past that and, you know, get clarity in the vision of where you want to go and where you want to be in your life, nothing becomes a big obstacle, I don't think.
I think beyond death and things like that and health issues, I feel like that there's an old saying that if you were to draw the world and put a little tiny speck dot there, that's what you want relative to what the world can actually give in the world's frame of reference. Yeah. So you know, it's being myopic on things. So that's something, because, you know, a lot of people out there, I believe, have the ability to do something great, but they're not like you. They can't go from, oh, I'm stuck here and then end up out here. But you did during that moment. I think that was impressive. All right. How are you so goddamn persuasive? You bring people to your garage and show them your car collection?
Yeah, something like that.
Remember when you picked me up in the McLaren once?
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing, man.
Yeah.
You picked me up in a McLaren.
Yeah, and we drove with the roof off and drove through Riverwood.
No, you had the roof on, and then I will drive into Riverwood.
And you said, I hate cars
and
like
I said,
this.
This is so embarrassing.
And I put the roof down.
And you put the roof down.
And give it a bit of a rev so all the boys came out of the office. Yeah.
That's how he's persuasive.
That's it. That's it. No, I think in terms of persuasion, I don't know if I'm persuasive, but I think people receive your energy and your intent, whether you say it or not. People can feel what your intention is. And I think if you go into everything with genuine intention, like whether it's speaking to a client who's contemplating accepting an offer, or speaking to a buyer who's thinking about making an offer, or if it's, you know, speaking to a prospective, you know, new staff member to come into the business, or whatever it might be. You know, if your intentions are genuine in terms of the conversation that you're having with them, they'll feel that and they know that. And it's not having to be persuasive. You know, it's just genuinely having a connection with that person, understanding that person's needs, and them also understanding that you're trying to achieve the best outcome for them. You know, it's not about you and what you're trying to do, or it's not about, it's genuine. And that's, I think that's the simplest it can be.
I've seen you do that. I remember you had a conversation, maybe you can paraphrase it, we don't want to breach any privacy, but you had a conversation with somebody who was buying a multi-million-dollar home, and it was here. I remember I was out there, and it was something to do with they weren't sure and they had paid a deposit, and the deposit wasn't refundable.
Yeah.
And I remember you got on the phone and sorted that. Can you share that? Or you basically, it was something to the tune of, hey, you took it off the table. You basically said, if this is an issue or you think something's not right, I'll give it back, something like that.
Yeah. So, well, I think it was just genuinely saying, guys, if this doesn't feel like the right move for you and this is not where you can see yourself being and it's not right, don't worry about the deposit. Like, if you're holding on to this for the deposit, don't worry about that. Like, at the end of the day, I can refund that to you. out of my own account. If that's really going to be the right thing, and you genuinely feel like this has been the wrong move and this has moved too quickly, and the outcome, and it was genuine. Like if, I don't want to be holding someone to a property if that's the case over a deposit.
Love that. And I remember I heard that and I was like, wow.
Yeah, but it was just one of those things, and they decided to proceed with the deal anyway. And
then they also gave you their house to sell.
They did, and they were really happy with the whole process, and it worked out well.
But I love how you're able to just meet people in a situation of where they're at, and then be able to go, let's just take this off the table. You've done it in many different ways. I've seen you do it many times, so I think that's impressive. Would you think that's part of persuasion's persuasion? Almost sounds like you're forcing. I don't think that's the right word.
Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, I think you're just helping people get to where they want to go. Like that's just the way I look at it. It's not that complicated. It's if you can assist people to get to where they want to go, and genuinely have good intent behind what you're doing, people will want to work with you and be with you, and that's it, And I'm never trying to take anything from anyone. I think that's a good mentality and a good mindset to have. You're never trying to take anything from anyone. Like simply that's it. And if you have that intent, things will work out,
And I've seen you do it also with the people in your company. I mean, I've seen you. This is another really good belief transfer that I've seen you do. And I saw you do it with a couple of people where you basically said to them, look, it's time for you to shift into, you deserve to earn more because you serve so many good people and you're really good at what you do. And I've seen you literally say to people, don't worry, I will fund you for 3 months and I won't ask for any of that money back because I believe you're going to get there. Yeah. I've seen you do it, right?
Yeah.
And how important do you think that is from a leadership perspective? And why do you do it? Because it sounds like on the surface you could be losing here.
Well, no, I think it's because I genuinely believe in the people around me. And, if that, money comes and goes and whatever, like, if I'm in the position to be able to do that and help them, then do it. If they feel more secure in that fact, then great. It doesn't change my life in that sense. But it means a huge thing for them, I think, sometimes. So once again, it comes back to believing in people around you. And, talk is cheap. I think, putting your money where your mouth is genuinely with offering to pay for them to have some level of security. Who wouldn't do that for their people? Those people are willing to, put their lives in your hands and their livelihood in your hands as working with you as part of your business. It's the least you can do for these people,
But that's, it's easier said than done because I don't think, and that goes back to the word culture. We always say that what you've just described is a belief that created the culture because you've literally just said, my belief is they're putting their lives in my hands. They're coming on board because they can improve their life with me. It's the least I can do for them. That's a belief that then creates a culture. That means every time something similar to that event happens, the same belief is going to take hold of and then create that culture. So I think that's how you're creating the culture.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think it's sad that in this industry there's different mentality out there which makes it really hard for people. Like there's almost... I genuinely want everyone in my business to do the best they possibly can, not for financial reasons, but just because it's fun. And it's, when everyone's doing really well and achieving their potential, everyone's happy and it's a great place and it's fun and there's no stress and no negativity in the business. And, there's issues in every business and every relationship. It happens, but it's the overall and the overarching, I think, motive behind the business is to really enrich everyone's lives who's in the business.
Yep.
You can't fake it, and it comes from a genuine place. And if it comes from a genuine place, the growth that the business achieves is exponential.
Yep.
Like, it's genuine because the people feel that, and they're willing. The guys who are willing to put their necks on the line every day to work for you and work with you, and put their future in your hands. They deserve that too. They deserve you to have a genuine interest in the best possible outcome for them. And if you don't have that, then they're not going to grow.
And also moving people to a new vision sometimes. Like you've recently done that in your business with a couple of people where they're in one position doing one thing. And if something's not working, it means the person can't see that vision really clearly for them. But instantly you've managed to get a lot of energy out of some people by moving them into a different vision that suits them.
Well, I think everyone's got so much to give.
And you get a different person.
Yeah, and it's just understanding people's strengths, I think, too. I think, you don't want to, you don't want to force a square peg into a round hole, as they say. If people have strengths, then you got to nurture and encourage those strengths too. I learn things every day from people. I learn things every day from clients and from buyers and sellers and from staff members and from family members. And I think you're always learning. And I think actually genuinely listening to what people have to tell you, you can learn so much more. So, everyone can be nurtured into their strengths. And I think getting the most out of people is just, once again, genuinely wanting the best outcome for them. If you do that, the success follows.
What's the strangest thing you saw from looking at our company from the outside that ended up being normal?
Where do I start?
When you came into the inside? I'm curious. What is it? Because
your weird-ass marketing slogans that didn't make any sense to me at the start.
Yep.
I was like, man, what are these guys on? Like, this doesn't make any sense. And, your poor grammar at the time was also an adding factor.
I only did it so people know I'm not using AI.
Yeah. So, but, looking from the outside in, understanding who...
By the way, your wife pulls me up on the grammar too.
Oh, she's
Cecily
ruthless.
pulls me up on the grammar.
Ruthless.
My wife pulls me up on the grammar.
Yeah.
I get it. Do not send me anything about the grammar. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's done. So, but I think I struggle with that looking from the outside in, but it's because I didn't understand it. Yeah. And our industry aims everything that we do at other agents, and and they're not the people that we're trying to impact. Realistically, people don't care. Someone's selling their house because they're having a child and they need another bedroom, or they're selling their house because they're aging and they can't deal with the stairs anymore, or they're selling the house because they're in financial trouble, or whatever it is. They don't care about you as an agent. And the whole industry is just built on promoting ourselves and how great we are. And like I see some stuff put out in the industry where people talking about how amazing they are and all this. Like, oh man, I can't.
It's not they're not profiling what they stand for, which is what the consumer really is buying.
Yeah. So, and I think coming from that other side of things, where I was the agent in all my videos and it was all about me and how many sales results I did and all this sort of stuff, I didn't understand who you were talking to.
But let me ask you this, because I'm going to ask on behalf of agents out there, okay?
Yes,
because agents talk about profiling, right? The whole thing is, in their minds, back to the whole scarcity. It's competitive. I'm trying to get listings, whatever. So I need to profile myself.
Yep.
So if you're not in property videos and you're not talking about your awards and what you've won, then how have you managed to triple your business? By right, you profiled yourself less, but you're tripled your business and your impact. By doing that. How have you managed to keep what Michael Luck stands for in the MFL brand? How have you managed to do that without profiling yourself in videos?
Everyone who I've actually dealt with has had such a high level of experience with what we've done and what we've achieved for them, that the business grows organically. That's what it is. You become more of an attraction agent because, your sphere of influence as an agent are the people who you're going to work with. I'm not getting calls from people in different states asking me to sell their house because I have zero impact. Whereas if I'm doing a video saying, oh, look how great I am, I've sold, a gazillion, bajillion dollars of property in the last month, it doesn't mean anything to anyone.
Like you said, it doesn't mean anything to the lady who's downsizing her home because the stairs is difficult.
Exactly. It's okay, great. How can, if someone says to me, or a client says to me, oh, I get a phone call. It's like, oh, my friend told me to give you a ring and blah, blah, blah. That's the best phone call I can receive because someone's trusted me enough to refer them to someone that they care about. And that's how my business has grown. Everyone that's dealt with me has had such a high level experience in the last 12 months.
But what about those people out there who, I guess might be easier for me to answer, but I want to see your take on it. What about those people out there that are saying, well, I haven't had a conversation with I haven't sold much in the area. I haven't been able to service anyone in the area. I need people to know me. I don't think people need to know you. I think they need to know what you stand for. I think that's two very different things. But those people out there who say, yep, I need to be known. So the way I'm going to do it is I need to put my face on all the videos that I'm in. That's how I'm going to get people to know me because, it's easy for Michael Luck to say that people are referring him, but he's got all this business. So how do they do that?
Well, they have to give. They have to add value to the people that they're potentially servicing. It all starts with, offering something without asking for anything. And
that could be knowledge, could be anything.
Could be knowledge, it could be anything. But I think you need to get in front of your marketplace. They need to see your intent and see your character as a person, and you need to offer them something. You need to give them something. You don't need to ask. Agents go around asking for things all the time. Knocking your door. Would you like me to sell your home? Would you like an appraisal? Would you? And it's self-interest wrapped up in a service. But if you genuinely start to give to the community that you're servicing and the people around you, and if you offer them help beyond what they've asked for, that's when things will start to change. I think
So they could. So when you say get in front of your marketplace to show them what you stand for and what you can give them, that doesn't mean standing there saying, "I'm a great agent. I now work in this suburb." I remember one guy who came on board a long time ago, and he had these letters on the table. Came on board, and he had these letters, and the letter said, "Hello, my name is this. I'm your new real estate agent." This was before we had all the tech and that. And I picked this up and I said, "Mate," I said, "nobody cares.
Yeah.
Who cares if you're a real estate agent?
Your mum might care, but that's it.
Your mum might look at that and go, look,
Yeah.
And that message, the message that you write, like you said, is there an element of giving in that message?
No.
What's exactly? So how do you get the purpose of giving in that? That's a good point. And I think our community app does that now, but that's a good point. So for you, it's show people what you stand for, which is how you're getting your referrals, and find something to give.
Yeah, and I think
get in front of your market with something to give.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Just and things will happen for you.
Yeah.
I think it's just being present in your market, but offering something without asking for anything back, and things will start to shift. It's if no one wants a real estate agent unless they want to deal with a real estate agent. That's the fact.
Yeah.
So if you're knocking on 1,000 doors a week and no one wants to talk to you, it's because it's the old analogy goes. If you had to go knock on the door of everyone in the street and give them $1,000, how happy would you be to walk down that street and knock on every door and go, "Here's $1,000, next house."
Yeah.
Imagine your energy
and
and your positivity.
You're not allowed to ask for anything.
You're not allowed to ask for anything.
Yeah.
You just got to give everyone $1,000.
Yeah.
You would door knock that street so quickly and so gladly,
Yeah.
and the energy that you put onto people would reverberate through the neighborhood.
I love that. And the energy is, I'll give you the $1,000, but the rules are you are not allowed to ask for a single thing, and you've got to get off the porch as fast as possible after you give the $1,000. Switch that energy now. What happens now? You light up the street.
Exactly, and it's like so quickly. And do you know what would happen?
People will be chasing you down the street
Literally.
going, hey.
And it's like, okay, if you can get that mindset and mentality around what you're doing and actually give away something without trying to take anything back.
I love that. That is so good. If you're out there, take that in.
The results and the outcomes you'll have from every interaction will be so much better.
So how, in the mind of somebody going out to give, how do you get into the mentality of, I've got $1,000 in my pocket, that's the value I've got, I'm about to give it away, I'm not going to ask for a single thing, then I'm going to see what happens. That's game changing for somebody out there. They changed everything for you. It's pretty good. Pretty good, Michael. Anything else you want to chat about? That was good, mate.
No.
Got some good stuff from you, I think.
Yeah.
I got some good stuff from you. One more thing just on the personal front. What's with the cars, man? Like, what's with the cars? I don't get it. Like, you can only drive one. What's the point?
Mate, we've all got our vices, don't we? I don't know. I think I just enjoy. I've always loved cars since I was a kid, but I don't know.
And you don't buy any cars that are like, I don't see that they're not cheesy, nor do you handle them in a cheesy way. So for anyone out there who's thinking, it's not like what you're picturing. It's like vintage cars, really cool cars. What is it? Is that something you've always just like?
Yeah, I think I've always just done. I think it's nice to be able to reward yourself when you work hard and are financially successful. So there are obviously little gifts to myself that I like to buy when things are going well. But it's what the cars mean and I think too. Like I don't see them as like objects or flashing. Like I genuinely enjoy the cars.
I feel that from you. I feel like you have a care for what you're buying.
Yeah, well, I think it's
you have a true love.
Well, I love driving and I love some of my old cars that I've built and restored and the fun's in the chase of finding the parts and fixing the car up and things like that. Brand new.
You did that with your dad, right? When you were younger.
Yeah. So we bought a car with my dad when I was younger, and he was never able to afford a Porsche when we were growing up, and he always wanted one and dreamed about one. And then when things started going well in the business, I thought, we'll get one together and we'll fix it up together, and it was great. So we had that, and that's that car, it's our car together, but it lives at his house and he drives it.
You still have it?
Yeah, we still have it. Yeah, we'll never sell that car.
Yeah.
That's it. But even little things now, like with my little 3.5-year-old daughter, like she loves washing my cars. We'll stand out the front on a Sunday and wash our cars, even when they don't need washing. If she wants to do it. There's just little things, but yeah, it's I don't know, just a passion, a hobby, and it's nice to be able to reward yourself of those sorts of things.
You know what, Michael? For those people out there, I think we should have touched on this because this whole thing about going in a circle and arriving back to what you truly wanted, you got to hold on to that. So you're a family man, right?
Yeah.
You've got all these cars, and from the outside, it doesn't look like that, right? Well, it does on your social media, but I mean, if someone said there's a guy who's got all these cars, blah blah blah, it doesn't sound like that, right? But you got 2 kids.
Yep.
Just had one.
Yep.
He's got, for anyone out there, go on his Instagram, Harvey, his kid. I will say he's fractionally less cute than my own kids, but he's in the league.
Mate, there's cheeks. Mate, they're winner cheeks. That's what they are.
He is. Great kid. But anyway, he's a good specimen, that kid. Well done, mate. He did very well with that kid.
Thank you, mate.
And Georgia, beautiful girl. But anyway, so your family, how, let's not talk about family's important, because there are people out there that are listening, they're selling, they're doing this, they're gaining this, and then they finally end up at a certain age and they go, oh, look, family's important. But you've had that your whole life. You are in from what I see, a great relationship. You're always looking after your kids. You're always there with your kids. What is it like? How important is that?
Well, I think it's everything. Like I'm lucky. I've got an amazing wife, and she's the best mom, and I've got 2 beautiful kids, and I've been really, really blessed in that. But family is the most important thing in my eyes. Like it actually is. Business is great, and nice cars are great, and money's great, but it doesn't mean much if you don't have people that you can enrich their lives with it too.
100%.
I think success. Money's a byproduct of success. I've always believed that. And the only thing that success gives you is freedom. And it's freedom for you to be able to, look after your family and the people around you.
To have more peaceful moments.
Exactly.
With the people that are in your family,
Exactly. But yeah, it's, family's everything, I think. And I think you're a family man too. You understand that. Like there's nothing more important than my wife and my kids. And
how many people have had family and then for whatever reason something changed and now they look back and they think, I wish it's the smallest moments. It's like you sit at home and you're watching a TV show with your wife. It's 10 o'clock at night and you're winding down, you're watching the show. It sounds like inconspicuous, like nothing, but you take that away and that's time you got to fill with something. And if it's not with someone, if it's not sharing something, what else is there? Like,
yeah.
If there was nothing else in the world and you were driving that car,
yeah,
I don't know, maybe you would keep driving.
I'd probably still like it.
But you'd be in the car driving. At some point, you're going to stop the car, get over driving, look around and go, there's no one to drive this car with.
Yeah.
True?
Yeah. Well, experiences are better when they're shared. That's the truth.
Yeah.
It just is.
Is that a Hallmark?
It should be. If so, I'm going to trademark that.
Trademark and send it to Hallmark.
Yeah, but let's, it said, even in business sense, when everyone's winning, it's so much fun, isn't it? It's full of joy. Like, we had in September, we had a huge month in our office and everyone was doing deals and everyone was making money and Cecily, one of the staff members, put in the group chat, isn't this so much funner when everyone's winning, Like,
I remember Cecily sent a message saying, oh my God, Anthony just did a deal, and I think this deal he got the maximum for the owner. The owners love him. I think I'm more happy for him than he is for himself. It's not corny. It becomes that because you actually when you put something together now, it feels like I did. If you can get into that feeling in Michael's sphere of winning, eventually you will win too.
Yeah.
If you're in there, but if you resent it and you push it away, you don't enter Michael's bubble. You got to steal a bit of MFL energy, right? You got to steal a bit of energy. You got to get into that bubble. It's Michael's deal. It's my deal. I steal your energy all the time.
Yeah.
I'm always calling you to take a bit of your energy. And then sometimes I realize you got a split personality. It's Michael Luck or MFL. And if am I talking to Michael Luck? Yeah.
Get out of there. Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
No, it's been good, Michael. Thank you, mate.
Thank you, mate.
I appreciate you coming on, man.
No dramas.
Really good. Thank you very much. Now let's make sure that this actually gets out.
Let's do it.